Actually, we don't see on the ground, we don't see any evidence that the counteroffensive in terms of large-scale operations has started already. What I have seen for a while already, like preparatory stage, namely the precision targeting of stockpiles, military bases, military storages, deep inside of occupied territories of Ukraine, which means that Ukrainian forces and artillery are trying to deprive Russia of the means and weapons at the moment when counteroffensive really starts.
Yeah. So, I mean, as you say, what do you think what was actually happening with the vision that Russia has provided, the tanks being attacked, the troops being killed? Is that some form of offensive, or do you think Russia is just providing footage that is not, not accurate?
First of all, Donetsk region or the border between Kharkiv and Luhansk region are hot parts of the front line. So even without specific activity on the side of Ukrainian forces, there are heavily shellings and fightings happening every day, namely in Avdiivka, around Bakhmut, in Svatovo, in my native Luhansk region, in my homeland. But what I think is behind this logic of Russian informational campaign mainly, because Ukrainian forces have been making Russia await counteroffensive actually not only from 1 week to another, but actually from one day to another. This is a huge moral exhaustion of forces, even if they don't fight actively, but they are fully equipped, no normal sleep, no normal rest. They have to wait from day to day if it happens on their part of the front line, because we all know that plans for counteroffensive are strictly under the secret. And this is good that intelligence of Russian Federation doesn't understand on which part of the front line it happens. And let's imagine that this kind of exhaustion is happening for a while already. So it was kind of explanation that something has happening already, something is happening already, but it's not, in fact.
Yeah, indeed. All right, so when it does start happening, and it may be piecemeal, it may not be, as you suggest, one major counteroffensive, where do you think Ukraine is going to focus its resources?
I think we will see several directions where Ukrainian forces will attack. And this is not a logic just to conduct one large operations on the whole front line, which is many hundreds of kilometers long. But the logic behind it will be just to distract attention of Russian forces and prevent them from relocating their forces on one specific part of the front line where the main focus will be. Those focuses, I think, might be two of them, actually. So what are the main priorities? The first one is, of course, south of Ukraine, to make a breakthrough to the south, closer, to get closer to the administrative border with occupied Crimea, mainly to target Melitopol, which is important logistical railway and transport town for Russia. And by targeting Melitopol and by reaching Melitopol, Ukraine will be able to split Russian forces into two independent parts, breaking completely their internal logistics. One part will be around Crimea, another part will be around Donbas. And the second focus, I think, might be some developments in Luhansk region or in Donetsk region on the border with Luhansk. Exactly for that reason, I think there are heavy fightings in Svatovo and Kreminna, which are towns in the north of Luhansk region, because logistics coming from Russian sovereign territory to Ukrainian occupied territory is going through Luhansk region in particular.
Interesting. I'm interested, Maria, in what your thoughts are about the attacks that have been happening within Russia. We know that they seem to be anti-Russian, forces. Do you think Ukraine is backing them, and is there a danger if they are trying to hit Russian territory in terms of where this war might go?
So those attacks are claimed to be organized by two particular groups, Russian Liberty Legion and Russian Voluntary Corps. They are Russian citizens holding Russian passports, and they claim that they fight Putin's regime. Why Ukraine might be interested in like these kind of operations, or at least allow these operations to happen, though not organizing them? First of all, because as soon as something is happening in Belgorod region, for instance, of Russian Federation, Russia immediately, we saw the evidence of that on the ground, Russia immediately dislocated forces from Luhansk region or from the borderline with Ukraine to its sovereign territory, because they didn't expect that. From this point of view, if Russia is made to withdraw some troops from Ukrainian occupied territory and try to strengthen its own border with Ukraine, it's favorable for Ukraine.
Really interesting, Maria. Appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.